My parents never thought I was going to grow up in a world without prejudice, but they also told me that's somebody else's problem, not yours. You're going to overcome it, and you are going to be anything you want to be. And that's the message that I think we ought to be sending to kids. One of the worries that I have about the way that we're talking about race is that it either seems so big that somehow white people now have to feel guilty for everything that happened in the past. I don't think that's very productive. Or black people have to feel disempowered.
What are your views on the left's hate whitey Marxism promoting program that they're cramming down our kids' throats?
Well, Chris, first of all, thanks for having me. I think it's shameful, obviously. When you look, Chris, it wasn't too long ago that Americans decided that we wanted to judge people by the content of their character rather than by the most superficial things that you can think of, such as how much melanin do you have in your body and what is your pigmentation, et cetera, et cetera. So here we are, a complete reversal of all that we fought for in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It is if you listen to the progressives trying to push this critical race theory down America, it is as if we are still living in the 1930s and 40s in America, as if there has been no progress. I think it's shameful that you would teach children that somehow they are born with inherent racist qualities. I think it's shameful that you would teach children that their country should be hated and that they should not look upon America, especially America, with pride. America has brought more freedom to more people than any other nation in the history of the earth. It is something to celebrate. I am not saying that we should present a non-factual view of American history. We should teach American history with all the warts, with all the growing pains, with all of the stains that happen. But let us also put into context what America is in the world. Every single nation in this world can go back and look through their history and find atrocities. Every single nation in this world can go back and look at their own history and find things that as a nation they would not be proud of today. But most of the other nations of the world, China, Russia, the major powers in the world, they're not looking back. They're not teaching their people to hate themselves. They're looking forward. And instead you have progressives trying to drive America back into a past that we cannot change, teaching people to hate this country. In fact, while they should be teaching our children to love this country for what it is and to strive to make it even better.
Right, and giving us no credit for all the strides that we have made. They want to pretend that nothing good has happened. You know, James, the Salcedo Show is committed to reporting on the Americans who Biden left behind in Afghanistan. What's your view on so-called news agencies who have turned their back on our people just to protect the political fortunes of arguably the most morally bankrupt administration in the U.S. history?
Well, I have the same view you do, Chris. In fact, I mention it on my radio show every day almost, that there are still Americans in Afghanistan when the president of the United States promised that they would be taken out of that country and have a way out of that country before our military left. It is shameful. It is shameful what he is doing to the American economy. It is shameful that now we have a problem with oil where we're begging OPEC to lower their production again. President Trump took us from a nation where we had been dependent on foreign oil to a nation where we were an energy independent nation. In less than a year, the Biden administration has reversed our fortunes. You look at this supply chain. They're trying to say this is a result of a good economy. They can't tell the truth about anything. And you have the Department of Justice, which is as corrupt as it can be right now. Now, today, I heard you just now, when you hear Merrick Garland today, pretending that they never wanted to go after parents and call them domestic terrorists for interfering with their children, forgetting to mention that his own family has a financial stake in critical race theory. His son-in-law, through his son-in-law, who provides the material for over 20,000 schools in America on this very damaging, horrid policy. So this administration is riddled from beginning to end with corruption.
It is. James, I want to get to your book, Rush on the Radio. It's going to be released on November 23rd. and is available for pre-order right now. We all knew and loved Rush for so many years. Much of his life was kind of, and you know this is how his radio show was. It was open book to us. What new insights, give me one or two, will your book provide?
Well, some of the new insights are that you'll be able to meet some of, and I wish it were all of, but some of the people behind the scenes at the at Premier Radio Networks, at EIB Network. Our entire staff was devoted to Rush. Every single member of our staff was. We all loved Rush intensely because of the kind of human being he was, and because of not only his generosity, but his spirit, his wonderful work ethic, his truthfulness. I think what more than anything else I hope to accomplish with this book is to present a picture of Rush that we all kind of knew, but give it more depth. Of course, Rush was also a very private person.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.